Some of the most expensive mistakes I see sellers make are the ones they thought would add value. I'm talking about upgrades that look amazing online, feel exciting in the moment, but when it comes time to sell, buyers walk away. And here in the Tulsa metro area, I've seen this happen over and over again because right now, across the Tulsa metro area, and honestly across the country, I am seeing homes that look beautiful, feel like a great deal, and they are quietly becoming some of the hardest homes to sell. I'm a big believer in making your home a place you love, but at the end of the day, it's your space and it should reflect you. But here's the thing, after years of helping buyers and sellers, I've noticed the same patterns over and over again. Some upgrades just don't age well, and that's when regret sets in. And the reason you should stick around for this video is simple. In today's market, these design mistakes can actually make or break your sale. I've seen buyers walk away from otherwise great homes just because of one feature they didn't want to deal with. So even if you're not selling today, this is good stuff to keep in mind for the future so you protect your equity. Hi, I'm Jessica Ford with Chenoweth & Cohen Realtors. I help homeowners strategically prepare, market, and sell their homes for top value here in the Tulsa metro area. So let's walk through this, the upgrades that I see sellers regret the most. Mistake number one is open shelving and glass cabinets. Let's start with one that looks beautiful. This is one of the most Instagram-worthy mistakes out there. Open shelving and glass cabinetry. Now, don't get me wrong, it looks amazing. It looks fantastic in photos, in model homes, and even in Airbnbs when you're just staying for the weekend. Everything looks very neat and minimal and stylish, but try living in them. Dust, grease, fingerprints, it all shows. Every plate and cup has to look like it's been staged by a designer. And unless you're the kind of person who arranges your cereal boxes by height and color, things can start to look messy real fast. I had a client who fell in love with this house that had open shelving when they bought it. I gotta tell you, it looked amazing, straight out of a designer magazine. But less than 6 months later, they let me know their frustration. They'd already started converting back to traditional cabinetry. Why? Because the upkeep was exhausting and the storage was impractical for daily life with kids. Here's a tip. Use a small section of open shelving or maybe a frosted single glass cabinet for display pieces, but keep the bulk of your kitchen closed and practical. Mistake number two is really open floor plans that are taken too far. Open concept is still very popular here, especially you see it in the newer construction in Jinx and in Broken Arrow. But when everything is completely open, it can feel chaotic, kind of like living in a fishbowl. There's no separation, no space, no privacy, and buyers working from home or families with kids, they're starting to push back on that. So what works best is balance. A kitchen that opens to the living area is great, but you don't need to remove every wall in the house. Sometimes a little division actually makes a space feel more functional and less overwhelming. So next up, mistake number three that I see is poor garage conversions. This one is big. Converting garages into living space, I understand the intention. You want more room, the idea of creating extra living space sounds amazing, but sometimes you end up sacrificing something that buyers value even more. I get it. The extra family room, a gym, or a play space is tempting. On paper, it looks like you're gaining more square feet without building an addition. But in reality, you are usually losing something far more valuable: secure parking and storage. And here in Oklahoma, Buyers expect a garage. They want parking, storage, they want protection from storms, and when it's gone, that becomes a deal breaker for many buyers. I can't tell you how many buyers that I've worked with that flat out refuse to look at homes without garages. For them, the garage is not optional, it's essential. It's where they park their cars, store their tools, keep their bikes, seasonal decors, or have extra room for their hobbies. And even when a garage conversion is done well, it still feels like a converted garage. The flooring doesn't match, the insulation is different, and it rarely flows with the rest of the house. Mistake number 4 is controversial. It is a freestanding tub. Big statement tubs in the middle of bathrooms, they look amazing in magazine or model homes, and they scream luxury, but in real life, they're often more trouble than they're worth. First, they take up a ton of space, and if you don't have a truly oversized bathroom, that tub becomes a giant obstacle in the middle of the room. They're also not as practical as they look. Getting in and out of them can be very awkward, especially for kids or older family members. And the cleaning around and behind them, just say that you will regret it afterwards. So there's the dedicated jacuzzi tub. They were all the rage for a while, but I can't tell you how many times I have heard homeowners admit that they would rather turn them into a glorified laundry hamper that just gets dirty. And families just don't have time to sit and run a spa every night. So if you really want a spa-like feeling, a deep soaking tub, or even a modern shower system with streaming features is usually the better investment. You'll use it more often, and it's easier to maintain, and it won't eat up all your bathroom square footage. Mistake number 5 is high-end maintenance material like marbles. Marble countertops are stunning, and again, this one may be a bit controversial. I have to admit, I truly didn't appreciate it myself. They are gorgeous, no doubt about it. But let's be honest what it's like to actually live with marble. Marble is one of those materials that look timeless and luxurious. The veining, the natural variation, it's beautiful, there's no question. But marble in a kitchen is like being in a high maintenance relationship. It requires constant attention. One slip can make a permanent mark. I've seen several homes throughout the years where the marble island has been ruined by something simple as leaving a glass of red wine overnight, or lemon juice etching with scratches, or olive oil soaking it in. They all leave a permanent stain. So unless you're willing to baby your counters every single day, marble starts to look worn and tired quickly. That's why a lot of clients end up regretting it. They love the showroom look, but in reality of everyday cooking, kids, dinner, parties, or even just rushing through your breakfast can turn into a source of stress rather than joy. If you love the look of marble, a smarter option would be quartz with some marble patterns. It gives you that veining and elegance without the headaches. Modern quartz is incredibly durable, stain resistant, and almost maintenance-free. You get the beauty without the constant stress and worrying about the stains or the scratches. So moving on to mistake number 6, home theater rooms. They were all the rage in the early 2000s, but let's talk about why they don't really make sense for families anymore. A couple of years ago, I sold a house that was absolutely gorgeous. One of the biggest features of this home was their theater room addition. So let me be clear, this wasn't an awkward DIY setup. The addition itself was flawless. It flowed with the rest of the house, it didn't feel out of place, and it looked impressive. But here's the kicker. During the showings, almost every comment I heard was from buyers, how they would love to convert that theater room into something else. The most common idea was another bedroom or a full guest suite with its own bathroom, because the space was huge. And that's the problem with a dedicated home theater. Back in the early 2000s, they were a status symbol. But people don't want to trek into a dark, isolated room just to watch a movie. Most families would rather sprawl out in their living room where it feels comfortable and connected to the rest of the house. So if you're thinking about a big theater build, consider that flexible space instead. A multi-purpose media room, bonus room, or lounge can still feel special, but it won't lock you into your space so that buyers immediately see this as something that they want to change. Quick pause before we jump back into mistake number 7. If you're finding this information helpful, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe. I post videos every week about real estate trends, designer tips, and what actually adds value to your home here in the Tulsa metro area. Again, thank you for watching, and drop a comment below. What's the one feature in your house that you love or maybe you secretly regret? I would love to hear your story. All right, let's jump back into it. Okay, were we on number 6 or maybe 7? 6, 7? Mistake number 7 is outdoor kitchens. They sound amazing, but weather quickly here and become maintenance heavy because the Oklahoma weather is so harsh. These can take a beating. If you love cooking outdoors, a high quality standalone grill or smaller, more flexible setup is usually a better bet. It gives you lifestyle without committing to something that's going to age poorly and cost thousands to repair or replace. Oversized kitchen islands is number 8. They disrupt the flow, and buyers notice this immediately. Improving the kitchen, making it hard to move around. Dishwashers, ovens don't open comfortably, and 2 people can't pass each other. The whole space feels cramped. The minimal clearance should really be 42 inches, and anything less than that, you'll notice it every day. Another mistake is above ground pools. Most buyers want it removed. On the surface, it feels budget friendly, summertime fun, but the truth is they almost never add value and they can hurt the resale. I've shown plenty of homes with above ground pools, and the reaction from the buyers is almost always, how much is this gonna cost me to remove? Not one buyer has ever said, oh wow, I always wanted an above ground pool. They're usually always seen as temporary, unattractive, and more of a liability than an asset. And sometimes they can even cause real damage to your landscaping. So these are all the things that feel exciting, but they don't translate to value. And buyers do not want to walk into a project. They want to close on their house, drop their boxes, and continue with life. So take that into consideration when you're thinking about these customizations. Another regret or mistake is the large play sets. Kids grow up fast, and those expensive play sets often end abandoned. I've seen multiple homes where the sellers have poured their time, energy, and effort into these only to find that the buyers want them gone. In fact, in 3 different sales, the buyers actually put removal of play sets as a condition of the sale on the contract. And that's tough for sellers because they remember the sweat equity and the expense in putting them together. And the truth is, more often than not, they end up dismantled and dumped. The same goes for oversized water feature or heavy decorative elements in the yard. They may look like a dramatic statement to you, but they're highly taste specific. Think about a water fountain in the front yard that's literally twice my height. The sellers love them, but when it comes time to move, hauling it across state lines is not practical. And the new owners, they don't want it either, so it has to be removed. So the lesson here is just keep outdoor upgrades flexible and manageable. Spaces that are easily adaptable to the next owner. Now, I am a big believer in making your home reflect your lifestyle. You should absolutely enjoy your space you live in, but I've also seen how going too far can come back and haunt homeowners when it's time to sell. Here's a good example. I had clients that bought a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home. The wife wanted to combine the primary bedroom with the one next to create a massive, luxury primary suite with walk-in closets. And yes, it fit their lifestyle perfectly because they were empty nesters. It sounded amazing. Who wouldn't want a bigger bedroom and bathroom and a huge walk-in closet? But here's the problem. They didn't anticipate that they would be moving. And by removing that extra bedroom, the house value dropped in the eyes of future buyers. And bedroom count is one of the biggest drivers of resale values. And families shopping in the neighborhood, they expect a 3-bedroom, not a 2. Even if you can technically reverse the change, buyers don't want a project. They want a move-in ready home. So what my clients did instead was brilliant. They kept the rooms separate, but used the spare bedroom as a wardrobe room, and they added customizable cabinetry for a walk-in closet. So here's the best part. When it came time to sell, the buyers loved it. They could either keep the setup or remove it in a weekend with nothing more than a screwdriver and some touch-up paint. So that's the key lesson here. Make upgrades that can easily be reversed, knock down walls permanently, remove bedrooms, or installing hyper-specific features, and you're limiting that pool of buyers. Keep it flexible and you will enjoy your home now without hurting its future value. So those are the 11 home mistakes I see that homeowners regret most. At the end of the day, your home should reflect your lifestyle, but if you're planning to sell, even in the near future, these can break your sale. Features that can feel exciting now can turn into red flags later, and buyers look at them as projects instead of perks. So if you found this video helpful, hit that like and subscribe for more real estate tips in the Tulsa Metro Insights. I'd love to hear from you. What is the strangest and most regrettable feature that you've seen in a home? Drop that in the comment section below. Hey, I'm Jessica Ford. I keep tabs on the Tulsa Metro real estate market and neighborhood trends so that you don't have to. I will see you on the next video.